Read it now. Okay, I just want you to.
That's not for sure. I'll have to think about it. My mom and stepfather just got married
Oh, did they?
last night. They left at 6 a.m. and got back to their place.
How are you? Good, how are you?
Oh, wow. Okay.
How you doing?
Busy day.
If we move forward on the, can you explain the Knights of Columbus, the hearing process? Yeah, do we have a hearing on our next meeting?
Yeah, you can, honestly, that's a drill. And I can explain it to all the members.
Okay.
It starts with the resolution, then the two appraisers, the appraisal price, then the average amount is what the purchase price is, so we're higher than what the purchase price is, so you're good there. At this point, all you have to do is schedule a meeting, you can do it at the next meeting, to basically approve it, because you guys have already approved the contract contingent upon the appraisals.
The inspections.
Yes, so, so yeah, should be, that hearing is just going to be a quick approval on it, that way. What's that? But it can be, there can be public comment, but I'm just saying, like, outside of that, you just vote on it. I mean, I know I've heard a couple people make comments that have to be used for something else. Well, background about it. Yeah, but yeah, I can explain that if you want.
Okay. Are you ready? Yeah. We're about ready.
I keep my watch.
Good idea. So, Teresa, if we move on, if we vote to do that tonight, we'll put it on the next agenda. You ready?
Ready.
It is 6 o'clock. We'll call the Pulaski County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. If you please rise for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We had presented to us the regular session minutes from April the 20th, 2026.
I looked at them, I make a motion to approve the minutes as.
I'll second motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the regular session minutes from April the 20th. Those in favor, say aye and raise your right hand.
Aye.
Aye, and those opposed. Very good. We have presented to us the claims of payroll number 9.
I've read the claims, and we'll make a motion to approve claims and payroll number 9 as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the claims and payroll number 9. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Human Services Resolution, Federal Transit Act. Teresa?
This is something that the Pulaski County Human Services does every year. It is they work with the U.S. Department of Transportation regarding getting grants for their vans that they use for their transit services. And this is just their way of being okay with the county being in with them during these grants.
Very good. And we approved something similar last year, or probably the exact same wording on that.
Yep.
So I would make a motion to approve the Human Services Resolution, Federal Transit Act.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the Human Services Resolution, Federal Transit Act. Any discussion? Being none, those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Very good. Next, Nathan Orger's unable to be here, but he has asked his Vice President, Brandy Larkin, and member Isaiah Tidwell to talk about the Redevelopment Commission. You have that paper outside.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Isaiah Tidwell. I'm here representing the Redevelopment Commission. I'm joined by our Vice President, Brandy Larkin. We come to you tonight with two different things. The first one being a facade improvement grant program that we've been working on for some time now. I believe you guys were provided with the application, the draft we have currently. Tonight, we are just seeking a general blessing from the commissioners before any additional time is extended to this project. More specifically, we're looking for any general thoughts, questions, concerns you may have at this point, or may wish to share later via email to Nathan, as well as a pre-approval to spend above community development's per notice threshold exclusively for grant applications approved by the Redevelopment Commission once the program is underway. As currently proposed, the maximum grant amount on any project would be $10,000. The program would be a 50-50 matching grant program. We are currently, our current intentions is to fund any grants awarded this year out of our existing economic development appropriation in the Community Development Fund, and to have a conversation with the council regarding 2027 funding as part of the budget process.
What would be some examples?
A good example would be if a business owner in town wanted to get a new awning, they could then fill out the application, submit it to us. We'll have an internal scoring rubric where we kind of gauge if we want to approve the application or not. And then we will, I believe the current ideal right now is they will get the work done and then we will reimburse them the amount that we approve.
And it's a grant, it's not a payback grant.
Correct, grant.
It's just, if they match it, and if they score correctly in the rubric, it's money for them for the
Correct.
project.
Yep.
As it's currently slated, it's still in the ideation phase. We have done some research and groundwork to research what other counties have been doing and the impacts that such programs could have. But as Isaiah said before, investing additional time or energy into developing the full program guidelines or the full scoring rubric, we wanted to realize, come to you as commissioners and understand if there was like a head nod or if you had concerns with such a program. And it is a 50% the building owner pays and a 50% reimbursement. So it extends the investment of the public monies into the private sector as well. So it makes our grant monies go a little bit farther since there is a match.
Good. Jenny, could you hear all that?
I did, and I was able to attend a couple of the redevelopment meetings that they had, so I did share a lot of input. I was involved in the same program in Marshall County when I had my storefront in Culver, and it was a very positive program, so I already have a lot of my questions answered, and I am in full support of this program. It brings a lot to improve the downtown area and just that, beautification and to help out. And it was similar. We just had it, we paid it in full, and then we were reimbursed by Marshall County. I believe it was the town council there, but I'm in full support of this program.
Would that work the same way? They pay for the full amount and then
Yeah, and then
be
we will
reimbursed
reimburse.
half?
Yep.
And you're just seeking our approval to continue to move forward?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to give them permission to move forward on finding the grants.
I would second that motion.
Very good. We have a motion and a second to move forward on the improvement grants program. Any further discussion? Being none, those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Very good. 3-0. Anything else?
We did have, this is kind of an idea that was brought up at one of our meetings that we just kind of wanted to throw into the world kind of thing. We had the idea of doing a county flag design competition. I believe it was Stark County maybe that did one recently. And it's just a really good way of kind of bringing the community together. You can involve different entities in it, schools, art clubs, the historic society, things like that. So it was just an idea that we had, and with America 250 going on currently, we think it'd be a good idea for someone to kind of pick it up and run with it, essentially. So that was it.
Is that something you need our blessing on? I think it's a great idea.
No, I think,
Planting the seed.
yeah, planting the seed.
We're just planting a seed
Gotcha.
for
Gotcha.
perhaps your consideration or another
I think it's a wonderful idea.
body.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Okay.
All righty.
I agree.
I think that's it.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, Nathan brought before us the comprehensive plan firm recommendation. I think last Thursday, there was a group of individuals that participated in the selection committee. And Nathan went through the scoring of the different groups. And he's asking us as commissioners to either approve the hiring of HWC Engineering pending final negotiations, specifically regarding the project budget, or simply table the matter. I personally would much rather move forward with this and get this going, especially if the scoring came out for a specific company. So I would make the motion to hire HWC Engineering pending final negotiations, specifically regarding the project budget.
I'll second it.
And my second, or they were my top two now, so I would second that motion to hire HWC.
Very good. We have a motion and a second to move forward with hiring HWC Engineering pending final negotiations, specifically regarding the project budget. And this is for the comprehensive plan. Any further discussion? Being none, those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Pulaski County celebrates America's 250 request. Nathan has asked that for the 250-year celebration, Pulaski County has requested permission to display their lighted sign on the courthouse square for the duration of this month. It would need to be installed at or near the Veteran Monuments Memorial on the northwest lawn, where we have electrical outlets. He will, if approved, he will coordinate with the Celebrate America 250 organization, as well as the maintenance, to ensure that it's placed where Director Weaver prefers. So I'll make that motion to approve the light sign.
I will second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve a light sign on the courthouse lawn. Any discussion?
Wouldn't they want to run it to the 4th of July?
They might.
I mean, that's Independence Day.
Well, we'll give them permission, and we can come back and change it if necessary.
Or
Extend it.
Extend it or whatever.
Very good. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Use of front steps at meeting room at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, the 8th of July. The PCCA 250 will be holding a reading of the Declaration of Independence, with local youth sharing the responsibility of reading the document aloud. They are seeking permission to use the front stairs for a group photo, in which case we'll temporarily remove the information stand from the sidewalk and the meeting room for the actual reading of the declaration. We have a motion to approve this.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I will second. We have a motion and a second to approve the use of the front steps and the meeting room on the 8th of July by the PCCA 250. Any discussion? Being none, those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. Those are all the items that we had from Nathan. Sheriff Schramm. Teresa, we didn't have any conference requests added, did we?
First of all, I'd like to acknowledge all of our correctional officers. This is Correctional Officers Week. I'd like to acknowledge and thank them for the difficult job that they do. They're put in some tough situations, and just like to thank them for what they do. So you see them out and about, I think they'd appreciate if you say something to them. And second on my agenda here is we need a couple of vehicles, and I think this is more of a courtesy for you guys. I gave you a paper here, and for everybody else in attendance, I want to read, because I always like checking with State Board of Accounts before I do anything. We have a jail van. It's a 2017. It's on its third rear end. It just got finished up Friday, so we'd like to buy a jail van. And the second one's a jail commander's vehicle. It's a 2018, so that's 8 years old. A couple of months ago, I checked with Stacy Burns. She's one of the auditors for the State Board of Accounts, and she emailed me back. I gave Teresa a copy of this last week so everybody can hear. The revenue that the county is receiving is a reimbursement from the federal government for housing inmates. Since the original expenses for housing federal inmates are paid out of the general fund, the reimbursement of those costs should be receipted into the general fund. Once reimbursement is received into the general fund, these monies will then need to be reappropriated as part of the county general fund budget. Since these monies are receipted into the general fund, they may be used for any legal purpose of the county. If the county council chooses to reappropriate these funds to the sheriff's general fund budget, such for the purchase of jail transportation vehicle, this would be an allowable general fund expenditure as a vehicle is used for a legitimate county business expense. This is what I provided you. This is what I'm going to give the county council next week. I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop. It's time to get at least, I think we're going to get one Pacifica, which is a jail van. It's a smaller vehicle. Sometimes we take 1 or 2 prisoners. We transport these federal prisoners, any prisoners all over the state. It's time to replace one of those. We're going to keep the jail vans, the larger ones, if you've seen them around, as long as we can, as long as we still can afford to fix them. And like I said, jail commander, the other, which we use to transport them also. So, like I said, this is more of a courtesy for you guys. If you want to vote on it, that's fine. I don't know if you're required to, Teresa.
I think it's a courtesy.
But I want to keep you guys in the loop and let you know that I have checked with the State Board of Accounts, and they said we can use those funds, and it's allowable. So.
Very good.
Are you going to get one of them handicap accessible?
We've been asked that before. I know where you're going with that and why.
Well,
we never have had a handicap accessible, Mike. I think it's
used one.
Not yet. We haven't had to.
Well,
but you're talking about a huge expense if we do that. We never really have transported one. You know, I don't know what those cost. Maybe you can help me out more than that. That would be something probably for a full-size van. I don't know. Can you put them in a small van? I assume you can, right?
yeah.
But we just don't transport that many. Usually if we do that, we contract that out if we've ever had to do that. I mean, for the expense we put in and for those, I just don't see it as practical. So we would contract that to another company if we had to do that.
These are mainly federal or state.
Well, they're both. They're
Yes.
both. But that's what this revenue is generated from. Well, both. A lot of the money's in that fund is from the federal prisoners. So right now, today, we had 16 federal prisoners. And we do get some money from the state, level 6 felonies from the state. We do generate that. This month, I think we brought in $49,000 with both. Usually it's between $40,000 and $60,000 each month we bring in. So we hardly have used any money out of that fund for anything. It's coming to the point where we've got to replace a couple of these vehicles. Like I said, one, the replacement's a 2017, it's got 170,000. The other one's a 2018, so it's time to replace them. We'd rather get a Pacifica. It's a little smaller, and they're both going to have cages in them. So just something to
Very good.
consider.
Thank you for making us aware of that. We're good.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm going to present this to the council next week, and I'll give them copies of what I just read, and I may read it again for them, but just so you guys are aware.
Always good to get something in writing from the State Board of Accounts.
Got it right here, and I save it all the time, so I don't want to do it without their permission. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
Thank you.
Is Natasha here?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. What I've got to present today are some hardship requests. Hardships are submitted by patients that are having a hard time paying for their bill. This became a little bit more of a project than I thought. Initially, I had 5 to present tonight. After discussing with the billing company today, there's actually 16. So you might need to review them. I just finished this up at about 5 p.m. today, so I do apologize. There are a number of old accounts that we found that had not been taken care of dating back to 2020. Basically, with the billing company, what they do is they offer a payment plan. These patients can pay as low as $25 a month to be in good standings with the billing company. This is hopefully to reduce the efforts of going out to collections. These are individuals that have stated that the $25 a month would be hard for them to pay, so they filed the paperwork. There is additional documentation that is submitted with all of these. That includes their tax returns, their bills for the month, lots of different numerous items. Based on a formula that I work with the billing company, there is a percentage that is calculated on what should be taken into account. Most of the ones that are asking for assistance, they've already received payments from the insurance company, Medicare or Medicaid. They're just co-pays that they are still due. And there's a few of them that are multiple accounts. One of them has 3 on there, and there's another one that has 4. But essentially, once they file a hardship, anytime that there is a bill that comes in afterwards, it lumps them all together as one. My recommendation.
What is the total that is out that the county has not collected?
Just
Those
for
hardships you have.
Just for this hardship balance, right now, we're at $12,623.80.
Okay, thank you.
And again, that is 16 billing statements that are being brought forward.
Right, 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you proposing for those, Natasha?
I did send it via email. I'm not sure if you can bring it up from your location, but they're listed by case. So there's 10 cases, and some of them are suggesting the write-off of the balance, and then others are suggestive of taking them at a percentage and reducing the rate that's owed. And it's case by case. Like I said, most of these are individuals that they have Medicare, and about $250 to $300. It just depends on the case and the year that the hardship was filed. They aren't paid because it's what's considered a copay. And a lot of people don't realize that they have that payment up front until after they get the billing statement.
Mm-hmm. This is something we've done annually. The commissioners, correct?
Looks like it hasn't been really taken care of since maybe before 2020.
We approved some last year, I thought.
I don't think we actually got to the point of approving them, though.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are still the same reflective patients from those other emails.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it.
Does Jacob have a recommendation for how counties usually handle that?
I know, I know of a firm in Indianapolis that generally works with municipal agents. I agree with Natasha. I saw it's in your notes that they do have a minimum threshold that if it's underneath, I think it's like $250 or something like that. If you'd like, I'm happy to reach out to them and see if we can get a quote or something like that. I've worked with them in other municipalities. I'm assuming you guys don't have anything set up right now. Is that correct?
Shram Law Group actually takes care of our collections here
Okay,
in
they do.
town. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're familiar with Justin?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We don't have an ordinance or any type of guidance below a certain threshold.
I don't believe so.
Maybe that's something you could work on for us.
And I mean, and I think a lot of the reason that that's the case is if you have a certain dollar amount, you know, when you're talking about $100, $200, the administrative costs associated with it is, it's not really worth,
Right.
The juice isn't really worth the squeeze at that point. But no, I'm happy to work with that. I can reach out to Attorney Schramm to discuss that as well.
Okay, perfect.
So on your document, you do have suggested percentages and stuff.
Yes.
I
Most
think-
of them that didn't have insurance were the ones that I suggested a percentage be paid.
I think what you're proposing seems reasonable. So you see the percentages there.
Yeah,
So
I know some of these names. I'd think they'd have insurance, but I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, and I did put in bold what the billed amount was, the paid amount, and then the balance. So if there is a balance of like 250 or 300, those were ones that did have insurance, that's just what's left after insurance.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. But the $1,600 accounts, those are ones that typically didn't have insurance.
Yeah,
yeah.
you probably know the ones I'm referring to.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. What thoughts, Mike? Jenny?
I'm going with what Natasha has requested for those accounts.
Okay.
I don't have much of a thought on it. I mean, they owe it, they ought to pay it.
Mhm.
They don't have it. What do you do?
Some of these people, she provided us the poverty level and some of these hardship situations. So I would make the recommendation to approve Natasha's recommendation on the suggested percentage.
I'll second that. That makes sense to me. Good luck.
Discussion?
No, I'm having a hard time hearing Mike. I can hear you, Don, and Jacob, and Teresa fine, but I'm not hearing Mike.
Oh, I just thought that, you know, it made good sense to go ahead and like Tasha says and try to get what we can and hope good luck, but it might be hard for some of them. And if it is, it is. I mean, I'm not going to throw them in jail for it.
Right, we all go through a hard time in our lives, so
Yeah.
I just respect that they filed the applications and didn't get sent directly to collections.
That's a big thing. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve Natasha's recommendations concerning the 2026 hardship request review. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carla?
And Jenny, you have your copies from email?
Yes.
Okay. I am here on behalf of the Advisory Plan Commission, APC. After continued discussions on text amendments and moratoriums, and after the Board of Commissioners had discussed at one of your previous meetings in regards to solar moratorium, APC did at an advertised special session on April 20th, voted 6 in favor, 0 opposed to recommend establishing a moratorium on commercial solar energy systems for a period of 12 months. The moratorium, which is ordinance number 042026, reads, the Board of Commissioners for Pulaski County, State of Indiana, referenced as the board, has in place the Pulaski County Unified Development Ordinance number 2025, adopted on March 3rd, 2025, with an effective date of May 7th, 2025, collectively with all amendments zoning ordinance. Since the passage of the most recent amendment of the zoning ordinance has received additional public input regarding CSES, the Pulaski County Plan Commission is desirous of studying potential amendments to the zoning ordinance, more specifically, certain amendments to the portion of the zoning ordinance as it pertains to CSES and proper regulation methodology, long-term land use impacts and effects of CSES on Pulaski County, its residents and first responders' ability to combat hazards with regard to CSES. The Commission believes that a moratorium for a period of 12 months on the acceptance of CSES applications from any person, firm, or entity seeking to place or install a CSES on any property within the jurisdiction of the Commission in Pulaski County, Indiana, will provide the Commission and Board with the opportunity to consider changes to the CSES portion of the zoning ordinance. Therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Pulaski County, Indiana, that the following ordinance amending the Pulaski County zoning ordinance to place a moratorium on CSES for 12 months is hereby adopted as follows. The purpose of this ordinance and moratorium issued hereby shall be to understand the prevalence and presence of CSES within the zoning jurisdiction of Pulaski County in consideration of the public life, safety, health, and general welfare of Pulaski County, the effects on residents and natural resources, and to conduct appropriate studies and to gauge whether CSES are appropriate within Pulaski County, and if so, the extent to which regulations should be developed and enforced beyond current ordinance regulations. The Commission, by and through the appropriate regulatory authorities, desires to consider the implications of CSES on the following: property line setbacks, size tiers or cutoffs, lighting and noise, decommissioning plan alterations, decommissioning fund requirements, site plan requirements, resource impact mitigation requirements, long-term land use impacts, natural disaster land impacts, and other safety requirements. Section 2 is definitions. CSES is commercial solar energy. Board is Board of Commissioners. Zoning ordinance is the UDO. Commission is the Pulaski County Plan Commission. For purpose, number 5, for purpose of this ordinance and moratorium is solely applicable to commercial solar energy systems, CSES, and nothing else. Number 6, for purposes of this ordinance and moratorium shall not apply to those commercial solar energy systems, CSES projects that have, prior to the effective date of this ordinance, received affirmative action and approval from the Pulaski County Board of Commissioners and Pulaski County Council regarding both an economic development agreement and tax abatement as required per Pulaski County Unified Development Ordinance. Section 3, this moratorium would commence as of today, May 4th, 2026. A moratorium shall be in full force and effect in Pulaski County for the acceptance of CSES applications to any person, firm, or entity seeking to place or install a commercial solar energy system on any property within the jurisdiction of the Pulaski County Plan Commission in Pulaski County, Indiana. A moratorium shall be imposed on the filing and acceptance of any new applications for the permitting of any commercial solar energy systems in Pulaski County, Indiana, for a period of 12 months. The length of the moratorium set forth above may only be altered upon a majority vote of the Commission at a public hearing.
To read, Carla, or are you finished?
I can read the last page. One, this ordinance shall become effective following the proper adherence to Indiana Code 3674601. This ordinance shall be construed as an initiated proposal originating under IC 3674602. In preparing and considering this proposal, the commission has paid reasonable regard to the comprehensive plan, the current conditions, and the character of the current structures and uses in each district, the most desirable use for which the land in each district is adapted, the conservation of property values throughout the jurisdiction, and responsible growth and development.
The ATC brought for us a month ago some recommendations that we said that we would review and look back, and we said no to those to give us more time. We have a moratorium on BES, and did we just extend that? Or
Yes.
did we extend the data center?
No, data center was the beginning of
12
this year.
months?
Yes,
Okay, and now BES is, battery storage is now 12 months.
correct.
With that. Jacob, is anyone to come to you for a different EDA, a new company?
A new one?
Yeah,
No,
Or-
not that I'm aware of, no.
or a decommissioning plan, or ditch plan, or road use plan?
No, I mean, other than the ones that have been ongoing, there have not been any new applications.
And all those have to be done before they file for a permit, correct?
Yes.
So,
Well, I'll make a motion then to deny the moratorium.
I will second that. Any further discussion?
I'm just making sure I'm hearing. So Don, you asked Jacob if anyone else had come forth with an application, is that correct?
Yeah, in order to do it, can you hear me, Jenny?
I can, now I can, yes.
Okay. From my understanding, talking with Jacob, a company has to apply for an EDA and go through that step. And then they have to work on the road use plan, road use agreement, the ditch plan, and the decommissioning plan, correct, Jacob?
Yes.
And no one's approached you about doing that. We already have a year on BES and a year on data centers. And until an EDA, if another company comes forward, a moratorium could be put on before an EDA is done. And
But correct me if I'm wrong, it's not the EDA or the agreements. If a company comes and puts in an application, then the ordinances we have in place at that time are the ordinances, everything starts with that application, correct, Jacob?
It starts with the application. The issue that, I guess there's kind of several issues. One is, as everyone is aware, there are several agreements that are in the negotiation phase. The permit has not been issued. When Don asked the question, outside of the Mammoth and Doral project, there have not been any new applications. But you are correct in that if ABC company comes forward tomorrow with an application, the ordinances in place at the time would be what would control, any legal analysis.
But we have other companies, those other three, Carl, correct me if I'm wrong, Bottle Brush and Mayapple and Lost Creek are all through the door already, correct?
Correct. They've been issued.
And doesn't your moratorium exclude all of those companies that already have their foot in the door? Those would be excluded in this moratorium, correct?
Correct. The moratorium would be for anyone who submits any application documentation to my office.
That's not.
Correct, so,
That's not permitted, yes.
okay, so I don't see where this would hinder any of those other companies that, especially if you have those listed in the moratorium like you do, those companies that have already already submitted their applications. So, I'm confused why we wouldn't do that for companies coming forward from today on. And I'm just going to state, I know we beat this into the ground, or I have definitely beat this into the ground, solely based on the number of acres in Pulaski County, the number of projects that are committed to solar, the very few protections that we have for our residents and our landowners. We still have nearly 85% of our ground that is at risk, where people living around that ground that are at risk of losing property value and quality of life. We have companies continuing to pursue more ground for solar and renewable projects. And we know that the majority of Indiana counties in the northern half of the state are working to put greater protections in place for their counties to protect their communities. So I guess my question, because I've been stating these things since 2020. My question to my fellow commissioners would be, what reasons can you provide to justify your denial of a moratorium for the residents and landowners in Pulaski County?
We have a moratorium on BES and a moratorium on data centers, and we made those motions because we did not have any ordinances. We have ordinances for solar, and we're continuing to work on those ordinances for solar.
The ordinances we currently have are extremely weak for the residents of Pulaski County. There's no limit to the number of moratoriums a community can put in place. If we feel that our residents are deserving of protections from battery energy storage systems and from data centers, what reason can you provide that they do not deserve the same protections from solar development?
We have ordinances currently in place for solar, and we do not have.
Those ordinances are much too weak, and I think we've seen evidence of this. We've heard from homeowners that they are much too weak to protect those residents, and they're much too weak. They deserve protections.
Anything else? No. Oh, I did second that, correct, Teresa?
Yes.
We have a motion and a second to deny the request for a 1-year solar. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed to the recommendation?
Aye.
2-1. Thank you. BS updates, are they available? Tabor?
Hello.
There we go. BS updates.
So I will be covering all projects this evening, some shorter than others, but I do have some updates for them all. So starting with the Cuban project, which is the fiber connecting the 2 substations, they have all copies of the agreements and the roadmaps. They are planning on starting late summer, so they're going to be getting some things reviewed by their legal team. I believe they're going to be sending it up to their power company, and so AEP. So they're going to be working with them, getting that document reviewed in order to Jacob. Onto the Mayapple project.
Well,
So they informed us that AEP plans to break ground on their switchyard this June. So this does not involve the Mayapple contractor. This is the AEP's contractor doing that work. But we are working on setting up our next progress meeting with Mayapple this month, and we will continue to give you more updates as we get that. I don't have a date when they plan to break ground on their solar activities.
Tim?
From Moss Creek,
Tim?
major update, we have a progress meeting this Thursday. So we have finally connected and are able to move forward on getting updates from them, so more to come on that activity. On to the bottle brush, we have a progress meeting that we're trying to get scheduled for this month, and no major updates on their schedule this month. On to the well, I will pause there before I get to the manifest. Any question on those?
Yes, can you hear me? The fiber,
No.
the fiber, will that require commissioner approval once that's worked out?
Is this, are you talking about the right of way?
Yeah,
Agreement will
okay,
be
cool.
between the company and the county on the use of the right of way.
Very good, thank you.
Yep. And that draft agreement came from Jacob's office. Mammoth. So south is approaching substantial completion, which will then be trigger for the restoration activities. The central project's about 65 to 70% complete. We have received the updated vegetation plan, however, it is still in our review process. There are power transformers coming in the upcoming weeks. Road repairs continue. We did have that fence inspection that occurred last week. Unfortunately, it is not up to standards, so it is continually being tracked and needs to be revised. We will make sure that next time it is completed, we will conduct an initial review first, and then bring in the necessary county parties to help expedite your time. Of course, if anyone from the county wants to join us during our initial inspection, you are more than welcome to join us. Just trying to help not waste your time. We had a few complaints and comments that have come in. There was a complaint about some activity that was, or some traffic that was going past a resident's house on a Sunday on a non-solar road. We were able to circle back and figure out that this is coming from a future solar company. The pastor's grazing at a geotech firm out there getting soil samples. This is a very regular thing for pre-construction or pre-engineering to get these types of work, to know what you're dealing with out there in the field. They have advised their stuff though to avoid that work on Sundays. So we were able to circle back and get that resolved. We did have another complaint come in about one of our workers, VS employee, who was downloading the video footage from our trailer cam, coordinating with the highway department. That individual was still on the county highway. They thought they may have been trespassing on the property. So we were able to get that worked through and provide the resident an update and confirm that with Gary and the highway department. Bonds. I was asked about bonds last commissioner meeting to follow up on those. We have verified the majority. We are still waiting on 2 more just to kind of finalize things. At that point, I will give a formal written update to all the commissioners. But so far, we are good to go. I don't want you to think there's any concern. We just want to get these last 2 buttoned up before we give the official response. Funding. So we have received various comments from county employees about where the funds are coming from for the violations and fines. We were able to go back into last year's financial books and find that it is going into the general funds, similar to how our fee is being paid. The solar developers funds are going into that, as well as the EDA payments appear to all go into your general funds category. There was an emergency service meeting last week. It was well attended, and there will be an emergency drill scheduled in the coming weeks to make sure that we are all prepared for the warm weather and make sure that the emergency services know the best way to get in and how to access things. Next, I've been working with Nathan on developing a funding chart for all of you to highlight how the EDA payments are going to be coming in the following years. So you have a clean picture as to what you'll be receiving in the coming years from all of the solar developments. So you can forecast appropriately especially as you move forward with your comp plan. Last item for the current MAP project, working with Jacob and the developer's attorney on the contract amendment, they had to get resubmitted, it seemed to get lost in some paperwork shuffle, so it's back in their hands for signatures, and once we get that, we will get it in front of you. However, the developer continues to make the necessary payments, even though they're beyond their agreed threshold. We just want to make sure we get that paperwork sorted out. And then for the Pastors Raising Man projects, the agreements are still with the attorneys, and there's various comments going back and forth. And I believe there may be a sit-down getting scheduled. I'll defer to Jacob on any further discussion on that.
Friday.
That
And
it?
that completes my report. Happy to have any discussion or answer any questions.
I
Anything?
have none.
Good. Jenny?
No, I'm good.
Very good. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Jacob, I'll talk to you. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Under discussion items, we have the Knights of Columbus. We have received our 2 appraisals, and those appraisals came up above, both of them came above the asking price, and the average is above the asking price. The inspection came back very good for the facility and building. Jacob, we had asked you to look into this for us and what our next steps would be if we choose to move forward.
Yes, so just to refresh, initially statutorily, there are a couple of items that had to be done. The resolution that the county council passed being one of them, the contract that was executed for the purchase of the real estate had a contingency clause that it'd be acceptable as far as the appraisals go, and those are, the inspections are done. So the next step would be my suggestion would be to put this on the agenda for the next meeting where comments can be made on the issue, and then you would take a vote to essentially formalize the agreement, at which point we could move towards a closing at that point.
Does any notices need to be printed in the newspaper ahead of time?
It just needs to have the typical public hearing notice statutorily that I could work with you on to make sure that I'll review the language, but it's that typical, I think it's under section 5, but I'll look at that for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and is there so many days' notice that has to be on the paper?
It's the 48. And so, I mean, I think between now and your next meeting should be more than enough time to have that scheduled.
We could do it on our next meeting, which is what? May 18th?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, if we choose to do that. Mike, thoughts?
We even rumor on the street, there's somebody interested in the East Annex. I just think that it's user friendly and get rid of the East Annex. We can maybe halfway break even. I think we ought to go for it.
Yeah, I concur. Jenny, your thoughts?
I've kind of been back and forth on the Knights of Columbus, just back and forth on it. There was one strong that really wanted it to carry on the event as the event center. That was my biggest reservation, is losing that opportunity for someone to come in, because that would bring, people into the community for the different events. But if it's better for the county, then I will support that.
Good. Well, to move forward, I'll make a motion to have a public hearing advertised as what Jacob outlined for us, for Teresa to advertise. So I'll make a motion to move forward with a public hearing on Monday, May 18th at our 8:30 meeting.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Very good. Anything else for discussion?
No.
Okay, at this time, we will allow for public comments. Comments, please. We ask that you have present your name, your address. We ask that you speak one time and limit your comments to 2 minutes, please. Hello.
My name is Dennis Bope. I'm from Franklin Township. You've seen me before. And I'd like to represent two little things here. This is Franklin Township soil. And I have worked in the far west side of Pulaski County, and I've worked in the far south side of Pulaski County. This is clay. When I pulverize this, I could put water in it and grow things. When I pulverize this is the soil of Franklin Township. It won't hold water, it won't hold nutrients, and my father and other farmers have said, this year, I don't know how we're gonna make it with the high costs of the inputs and the low cost of receiving money at the end. The reason I'm saying this is I'm representing that there is no moratorium for the Mammoth Grazing Project. I don't know what could be brought to stop that, and that's why I'm representing the people of Franklin Township. This is our soil. The solar means a lot. The solar project will mean a lot to us, and we also think it'll mean a lot to the county. So I'm asking you that there not be anything that would stop the Mammoth Pasture Project. And I'm representing people that have to farm this. And I think you know that there's a difference in the soils, there's a difference in opinions, and I respect the wonderful soil over at Francisville and down south. It's good soil. But for us, the solar project, the Mammoth Pastures, will make an impact in our lives because we have to farm this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Jason Ross, Public Affairs Specialist with the U.S. Small Business Administration's Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. I'm here because Pulaski County has been included in an agency disaster declaration regarding the severe storms and tornadoes that occurred March 10th and 11th. This declaration is not a presidential declaration. E.M.S is not here. We are. And so we do things a little bit differently. We don't do grants. We do disaster recovery loans. We work very hard to make them available and affordable. Many of them can be drawn out up to 30 years. They're available to small businesses, large businesses, nonprofit organizations, as well as homeowners and renters. Businesses and nonprofit organizations can potentially borrow up to $2 million to repair or replace their damaged property, inventory, equipment, machinery. There's also an economic injury disaster loan, which is essentially a working capital loan that they can use to keep the doors open and the lights on until they can return to pre-disaster revenue. That also goes up to $2 million. Homeowners can borrow up to $500,000 to repair their home, refinance, or even relocate if necessary. Homeowners and renters can borrow up to $100,000 to repair or replace their personal property, to include their car. The first year is completely deferred at 0% with no payments due. There is no obligation to accept the loan if you're approved, and there is no cost to apply. The interest rates can be as low as 4% for businesses, 3.625 for nonprofits, and 2.875 for homeowners and renters. Anyone can apply at sba.gov/disaster. But the physical damages deadline for applications is June 8th of 2026. And the working capital loan, the economic injury disaster loan, the deadline to apply for that is January 11th of 2027.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Should we put that on our website?
I would love it if you did. I'll go with you afterwards.
My name's Robert Barger. I'm from Rich Grove, and I thought that when we got the solar, it was supposed to bring our taxes down. I just got my statement where they tell you how much it's going to be. Okay, it went up $45,000, my taxes. Why is that? I mean, this doesn't make sense. This is asinine. They put solar around the house and then tell me my house is worth more. And I haven't did nothing to it. But I mean, you guys really don't care because you really showed your colors tonight. I mean, because you really don't care about the people that really live here in this county. You showed that tonight. And I think it's sad. And I hope the election is a lot different so we can see some difference, because it's really sad the way it is now. And I'm really upset over this tax deal, because I thought that was supposed to take care of it. But since you gave them tax abatements, they can take that money and put it wherever they want to put it, so they don't have to put it where we need to put our money. That's wrong.
Aye.
Yeah, Margarita Bo, Franklin Township. I want to mention something that it was mentioned in the last meeting, because especially for Commissioner Cannibal, there is a studies that show, and this is from Stark County. It wasn't made by the solar. We got it from the assessor's office in Stark County. We gave you a copy, and we have a copy with the stamp of Stark County, and it says, I'm just going to read the conclusion. The data shows that proximity to solar farms has virtually no effect on sales prices. And they have at least 70 sales, and it's a Stark County because the solars are already there. So that I've heard people say that, oh, it's going to decrease 40%, 30%. Please go to Stark County, get the studies, and they show that. Another thing that I have a problem with is with the anti-solar candidates putting on Facebook. Nobody says anything about the 100 million that we could get from the solar, all the hundreds of jobs that the union people said that we have had in construction, the other jobs. So if Pulaski votes for no solar, I'm okay with it. Well, I'm not okay, but okay, whatever, right? But telling the truth, they just put ads talking bad about solar, and nobody has said 100 million. Why don't they say it's 100 million, it's 27 now, 67, and then let the people decide. But don't put ads with lies, with misinformation, and just talking about what they think is the bad things and not the good things. Show the people of Pulaski County how much money is going to be and let them vote. But it's too late for that now. But thank you.
I'd like to make one comment regarding the study from Stark County. I did spend 3.5 hours looking up every one of those 70 parcel numbers. I found a name, I found a location, I found where solar was. Not one of those 70 properties included in that sales report had solar on a single site. Not one of those 70 projects touched solar. It was also used in the study, the total assessment valuation, not the market, which we all know when you go to sell your home, it is what the market will bear, and it is based on marketability rather than total assessed value. So I just wanted to include that. Again, not one property of the 70 touched solar on a single site. That is very different. So I guess my question would be, why hasn't a single property that has solar on a single side sold since that study was done? Maybe that provides some answer too. Maybe those properties, either they have not been put up for sale, or those properties are unsellable. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll leave that.
Thank you.
Well, you guys want the light shining in tonight? Kevin Ingram, Van Buren Township. I don't have the theatrics as far as soil samples and all that is concerned. But my comment is this. I mean, how did they do it hundreds of years ago when they first settled in this area? But now all of a sudden we want to turn in farmland and to all this solar. I drove out through there today and down on the southern part. It's absolutely mind-boggling to see that. And yet we still can't agree on a moratorium. And this has been going on for 6 or 7 years. Is that about right? Or longer? I mean, I guess I'm just kind of lost. I mean, people are complaining about their taxes going up, and they're not done nothing to their properties, but yet the value of the property could potentially go down, or may go down, from what other studies have shown. So why can't we get this right? I mean, you can't please everybody, I get that. You please one side, the other side gets mad. You please this side gets mad, but there's gotta be common ground somewhere. And if we can't reach that common ground, then what's the point of having all of this? Thank you.
Anyone else? That was.
Brandy Larkin, Winnemac. As an observer of what has happened in recent years, one of the things that I have as a continuing concern is what seems to be the disregard for what the APC is often bringing forward and challenging the work that that group is doing and putting together recommendations for the Board of Commissioners. They have my empathy. I want to thank them, whom I know have reached out and spoken with community members with a variety of perspectives, both for and against, just like you hear each evening. But I still feel there are a lot of people that you're not hearing from, who don't come and who don't continually express to you the way many of us here have. And I will again just recommend you take the opportunity to hear from a broader swath of constituents and host or hold something, guys, because this isn't getting any better. Our community is really paying the price on both sides, and it's incredibly disheartening. It makes somebody with what I try to approach as a reasonable way of looking at this really scratch my head and question the way some of this is going down, because the pendulum has swung so far one direction and the side just seems to be shunned. Give some light to why they might have their concerns and let them present those to you in a respectable way. Probably won't go anywhere, but I'm going to share it because a lot of the conversations I'm having are saying it's probably, Mr. McClure, a lot to do with one of your comments, but maybe it is time to go. And that's going to affect all of us. It's going to have a massive domino effect for a long time. We've got to start thinking about people, not just profit.
Thank you. Don't see anyone else.
I make a motion for adjournment.
Second, those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Hold on.
Hey, Jackie, I had to run the entire thing because you guys never do that stuff. Oh, I did my
Why, if you did, they did.